Exclusive Eamonn Holmes faces chorus of boos as he accepts the accolade for GB News at the TRIC Awards. Eamonn Holmes faced a chorus of boos as he accepted the accolade for GB News at the Television and Radio Industries Club TRIC Awards on Tuesday evening. The TV presenter, 65, entered the stage via a wheelchair ramp before he accepted the gong on behalf of the team. However, while Eamonn thanked the crew and viewers at home, boos could be heard in the audience. A source for MailOnline at the awards said, after it was announced that GB News Breakfast had won, there were a few boos around the room. Due to his wheelchair, Eamonn needed a ramp to get up on the stage. He gave a moving speech about the work of colleague Charli Peters, who had earlier won News Presenter for his work on exposing grooming gangs in Britain. It was a nice moment seeing Eamonn pay tribute to a fellow news presenter, but it seemed someone in the audience didn't agree. They heckled for Eamonn to get off, and it was an awkward end to his speech. It was unclear whether the star heard the heckler as he gushed, "For the thousands of people who voted, that is brilliant for us, so we say thank you to anyone who did bother to vote." It marks the second year in the row Eamonn has accepted the award in the news category at the viewer-voted awards show. Last year he accepted the award aided by his walker as he inferred that he had been stabbed in the back, as he told the audience, "So I got two things in my back that I didn't want," seemingly referring to both his operation and his split from Ruth Langsford. Meanwhile, Stacey Solomon lost out on a career accolade once again after she missed out on the award for social media broadcaster at awards. The TV presenter was nominated alongside Eddie Hall, The Beast Rob Beckett and Ladbaby, and it was the latter who received the honor. The loss comes just months after Stacey, 35, was left disappointed when her show Sort Your Life Out lost out on the Factual Entertainment Prize at the 2025 BAFTA Television Awards. At the time, the star let rip at the BAFTA judges in an online rant as she said her team were robbed of the accolade, prompting backlash from fans who branded her a bad loser. And once again, Stacey lost out on an accolade after this year's TRIC winners were decided by 1 million votes from the British public from a list of pre-established nominations. Taking to the stage to accept the award, Ladbaby, whose real name is Alex, was joined by his wife Roxanne as he began, "Thank you so much. We started in social media 10 years ago when we were in a very difficult place in life. We were struggling to pay our mortgage, we had just had a kid, we were living on about £20 a week, and it really changed our lives." Elsewhere, Clarkson's Farm, which has just seen season 4 released, grabbed the gong in the entertainment category over Gavin and Stacey, "I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here," and The Traitors. While Strictly Come Dancing and Loose Women were dealt a brutal blow, with both shows among a series of high-profile snubs to not even be nominated. In the daytime category, A Place in the Sun secured the win as it triumphed over Escape to the Country, Richard Osman's House of Games, and This Morning. Best Drama went to Call the Midwife as it won over All Creatures Great and Small, Baby Reindeer and Bridgerton. 24 Hours in Police Custody beat Freddie Flintoff's Field of Dreams on Tour, The Martin Lewis Money Show Live, and The Repair Shop in the Factual category. It was a day to celebrate for Sam Thompson and Pete Wicks after their podcast Staying Relevant triumphed against Begin Again with Davina McCall, Shish Jeed, Married, Annoyed, and That Peter Crouch podcast. While in the food category, fan favorite The Great British Bake Off came out on top in a strong category with Great British Menu, James Martin Saturday Morning, and MasterChef. As for the Game Show Award, there's Ant and Dec's Limitless Win, Michael McIntyre's The Wheel, The 1% Club and The Chase were nominated, and it was Lee Mack's The 1% Club which grabbed the gong. Six Nations Rugby won Best Live Sport, and GB News Breakfast took home the prize in the news category. Charli Peters took home Best News Presenter as he went head-to-head with Dan Walker, Fiona Bruce and Susanna Reid. As for the Radio Presenter Award, Jordan North was named number 1 against Ally McCoist, Simon Mayo and Vernon Kay. The radio show category featured Capital Breakfast with Jordan North, Chris Stark and Sean Welby, Heart Breakfast with Jamie Theakston and Amanda Holden, Rylan on Sunday and White and Jordan. But it was Heart Breakfast with Jamie Theakston and Amanda Holden that won the award. The Soap Actor Award went to EastEnders, Steve McFadden, who plays Phil Mitchell, while EastEnders also received the honor of Soap of the Year. He beat other nominees Barney Walsh, who stars as Cam Micklethwaite in Casualty, Beth Cordingley, who plays Ruby Fox Milligan in Emmerdale, and Jack P. Shepard, who portrays David Platt in Coronation Street. TV Personality went to Bradley Walsh as he pipped Alison Hammond, Ant and Dec and Martin Lewis to the post. As the stars gathered at London's Grosvenor House, the event was hosted by TRIC President Dan Walker and welcomed close to 1,000 guests and featured a show-stopping live performance by Magic Radio's Lamar. Eamonn Holmes, booed and heckled, on stage as he accepts award at TRIC ceremony. At the 2025 TRIC Awards, former This Morning presenter Eamonn Holmes accepted an award for Best News, but he was met with very mixed reactions. Eamonn Holmes encountered a tense atmosphere at Tuesday's Television and Radio Industries Club TRIC Awards as he collected the news award on behalf of GB News Breakfast. The 65-year-old presenter used a wheelchair ramp to access the stage, where he expressed gratitude to the production team and viewers. However, the moment was marred by audible boos from some attendees. A source present at the event told MailOnline, after GB News Breakfast was announced as the winner, there were a few boos around the room. Because of his wheelchair, Eamonn needed a ramp to get on stage. Despite the reaction, Eamonn delivered a touching tribute to fellow presenter Charli Peters, who had earlier won the News Presenter Award for his investigative work on grooming gangs in the UK. It was a nice moment, seeing Eamonn pay tribute to a colleague, the insider added. But someone in the audience heckled for Eamonn to get off, which made the end of his speech quite awkward. It remains uncertain whether Eamonn heard the heckling. He concluded his speech warmly, saying, "For the thousands of people who voted, that is brilliant for us, so we say thank you, to anyone who did bother to vote." This marks the second year running that Eamonn has accepted the TRIC News Award. Last year, he made his appearance with the aid of a walker and hinted at personal challenges, stating, "So I got two things in my back that I didn't want," seemingly referencing his medical procedure and his recent split from former co-host Ruth Langsford. Elsewhere at the ceremony, former Love Island star Tasha Ghouri shared her thoughts on her career direction following her recent split from Andrew LePage, whom she met on the ITV2 dating show in 2022. The couple, who made it to the Love Island final, ended their relationship after more than 2.5 years together. Speaking at the TRIC Awards in London, the 26-year-old said she is focusing on developing her presenting career rather than returning to reality dating shows. "It's not for me personally," Tasha admitted, referring to programs like Love Island, "All stars are celebs go dating." She added, "I know people find love on these shows, but my dating shows are closed. I'm going down a different path now. It's something I'm really passionate about. I'm happily single, but I'm open to love. I'd love a family." Tasha's comments underline her desire to move beyond the reality TV spotlight and explore new opportunities in presenting, signaling a fresh chapter in her career. Eamonn Holmes missing from TRIC Awards red carpet after heartbreaking health confession. The annual TRIC Awards returned today, with some of the biggest names in television and radio battling it out to win big at the glitzy event. The TRIC Awards, presented by the Television and Radio Industries Club TRIC, showcase the best of British television, and this year's ceremony is set to be just as captivating. Several famous faces from the radio and television industry have been attending the awards since its first year in 2019. One of the nominees is GB News for Best News Program, while national reporter Charli Peters has been shortlisted. The news channel's biggest stars have taken to the red carpet to mark the special occasion and are hoping to continue their winning streak from the 2024 awards. However, one notable figure from GB News who decided to skip the photos on the red carpet is Eamonn Holmes, whilst his co-stars Ellie Costello, Miriam Cates, Bev Turner, and Ben Leo made an appearance. However, he later shared photos of himself inside the event, posing with a place in the Sun's Laura Hamilton and GB News star Hayley Sparks. The former This Morning presenter, 65, has regularly been pictured in a wheelchair or using walking aids. He has been open about his health issues since he had a spinal operation in 2022, a double hip replacement, and his struggles walking. 3 weeks ago, Eamonn shared a heartbreaking health confession on social media when he uploaded a throwback snap of himself broadcasting. "This pic tells me this was 3 years ago in my home city of Belfast. I was making a big extravaganza featuring the Ulster Orchestra and film and TV music associated with famous producers," he wrote. "It actually made me very sad looking at it because I could walk then and can't now. I pray to God and the new docs that I am seeing that all will change and change soon. Keep you posted and please think of me." Eamonn's representative has been contacted for comment by Express Online. The presenter then suffered a fall last month on GB News while the camera was focused on TV commentator Charlie Rowley. Off-screen, a loud crash could be heard, and his co-star Ellie exclaimed, "Oh my gosh." Producers then swiftly cut the show to a 6-minute ad break. In March, Holmes told his followers he is in constant pain, saying, "Even when the sun shines there's pain." Sometimes I feel I'll never beat this disc immobility, but I'm determined to have a life. So pray for me, help me, or get out of the way, social media haters. Eamonn attended the TRIC Awards last year, where GB News Breakfast emerged victorious in the Best News category. However, he required a walking aid during the ceremony.